Okay, hard-fought win. Give Citadel kids a lot of credit. Very, very tough-minded. Probably a more physical group than we anticipated. These early games are hard. You don't have as much information as you would like, and it became a little bit of a matchup game in the second half. They went smaller, and we stayed bigger. And obviously, Ian, I thought, was a major factor for us, and he got off to a good start, 3 for 3 in the first half, and Ed switched and tried to go small with his 4-man at the 5 and 4 guards, and obviously that really stresses you with 3-point shooting everywhere. And I mean, the kid Ash, we knew he could shoot. He was 7 for 10 in an exhibition, but my God, he was throwing in 28-footers, 30-footers. I mean, a couple of those were amazing shots. And not only then, you just have to guard the 3, but like it creates so much space for them to do the other things because they've got 3 or 4 guys out there that are elite shooters. So it was a hard first game, probably hard to play the young guys. That's the only disappointing thing is I didn't get the young guys in as much as I would have liked. But I thought our older guys, got the job done. We played very well at the end of the first half. We played very well at the beginning of the second half. Some of that's when we started making shots. Chase made some shots. We built the lead to 20, and then all of a sudden you just take a deep breath for a second, and you miss a couple shots, and they throw a couple in, and right now you're back to 11, and they got momentum, and the last 12, 13, 14 minutes you're in a hard-fought game against a team that can really shoot, so it's really scary. But our guys made a lot of good plays down the stretch. Chase was fantastic with 23 and 7 assists, no turnovers. We only had, 8 turnovers, I think, as a team, assisted on 19 baskets, and our 3 best shooters were 3 for 16 from the 3. So there are a lot of things that were positive that we had to overcome in terms of our own, shots not going down and missed shots from our 3-point shooters. But really good win against a gritty team.
It seems like Chase's performance was kind of a continuation of how he ended last season.
Yeah, he was improving, right? I mean, we could see it. There was early in the year last year, he still didn't quite have his confidence, didn't have his legs under him. Some of it is trying too hard, right? Sometimes these kids, they put in so much time and they're trying so hard that they're putting pressure on every pass, every shot, every play. And until some good things happen, you're forcing it. And I think he dealt with that. But he had another good off season. He's played well in the fall. Our guys have a lot of confidence in him, and he made some terrific plays, not just scoring, but passing the ball late to Ian for some drop-offs and showed some poise.
He's the kind of guy who can score in bunches too, right?
He can. He can obviously get to different spots on the court, put pressure on the defense because of his penetration, and then his size. He's bigger. He's 6'3.5", 205 pounds, so he can play over top of some people. And I thought that was a big factor. He and Ian, and Hunter too. We tried to get the ball inside to those 3 guys. I know we had 26 paint touches at half. I can't remember. I haven't seen yet what our final was, but that was obviously something we were trying to do, especially when they were smaller. We made some mistakes in terms of just guys settle for shots. We took some, couple of quick threes at ill-advised time and missed them, and that, led to some things for them. But later in the game, I thought we grinded it out better and executed a little more offense and finished the game.
Coach, we talked last week about the good weight that Ian put on in the offseason, and he was just an offensive rebounding machine tonight.
Yeah, he's got good bounce, got good legs to him, got good hands, and so he gets his hands on balls. He's going to get a lot of them. He's always been a pretty good rebounder. Rebounds per minute are always pretty high. And this was a hard game. Ben, because they went small in the second half, we really couldn't get him in there as much. Ian just had to kind of gut it out. And, thankfully he played very well and was up to the challenge. Again, I thought it was a little chess match when they went small, and we had to decide, are we going to put Hunter at the 5? What are we going to do? And we're going to put 4 guards out there, or are we going to try to stay bigger with Hunter and Ian? And we just kind of rode those 2 guys and played with our size.
Was your heart in your throat a little bit when Tyson went down to the 4 hard? You got to keep him
Yeah,
healthy, right?
you know, I mean, he plays so hard, you know, that he gets involved in a lot of physical plays, and he's around the ball a lot, and, you know, but golly, it'd be nice for him to play 32 games this year, not 20 or whatever he's been playing the last couple.
Do you think it invigorated Chase playing point, sort of the notion of points?
Maybe a little. I mean, I think he's excited by it. Like you know, we've said he's not going to play it exclusively. He's going to bounce around. He bounced around a little bit tonight. You know, Josh played it for a few possessions. His brother played it for 10 minutes, 9 minutes. Played them together some. But I think it's a nice, you know, change up for him. I think it's, you know, it's his head coach showing that he has confidence in him, you know. Chase and I have been through a lot together for a long period of time. We've talked about it. You know, I really believe in him. And, you know, he played terrific tonight. I'm really happy for him because he's one of those guys we've talked about last year, just showing grit, right? Just passion and perseverance toward a long-term goal, sustaining, hanging in there, not giving in. And, you know, he's really worked. And, you know, you want good things to happen for people like that.
Coach, 23-5 run to end the first half. A real good situation there with the last possession, and you got a nice wide open look there for Chase. Have to be happy with the way they executed that.
I did, yeah. We called timeout and tried to run a little something, and then, you know, they guarded the initial part of it, and our guys did a really good job of making a play after the play. And that's what, you know, a lot of this comes down to. Coaches do a lot, but really your players have to make a lot of plays in these games on their own. And we had to make plays on both ends because of the way they, you know, the way they put pressure on you with their offense. Your guys had to be tough and tough-minded, and there was a lot of individual defense tonight.
Right, you said coming into the year that you believe this team will be able to match up better on the perimeter, bigger guards, bigger lineups. I'm curious what your assessment was of the perimeter defense tonight.
I thought it was pretty good. I'm anxious to watch the film. I thought we had spurts where it really got better and where our physicality and size helped us, because when they, you know, they're basically driving it to the paint or a drop zone area, they call it, and they're going to pivot and make plays down there and try to score over you or feed it and kick it back out for three-point shooters. And, you know, you got to stay home. You got to go back to the shooters, and so it's kind of your one-on-one in there in the paint. And it, you know, it's you know, it's a little nerve-wracking, right? Because the guys are 6 or 8 feet from the basket. But some of those shots aren't as easy as they look. And some of the analytics in basketball are now like, you got to let guys try to make some of those. They're not layups, they're not threes. You know, it's hard to make a lot of those to win. And so in some ways, because of the way they were playing, we were trying to do that. Now, I told our guys, if they make double-figure threes, it's going to be a close game. Like, if they make double-figure threes, it's going to be close. And they made 11 threes, you know, and there were 7 in the second half. And that's why the game got the way it got. It forced us to be good offensively. And we didn't make threes, but we didn't turn it over. We played in the paint. You know, we scored around the basket. We got offensive rebounds. If we don't play as well offensively, this is a tough game to win.
Coach, you had 6 guys make threes in the exhibition, 5 tonight. Ian made 1. Of course, PJ is a great shooter. So this is about as many good shooters from the outside as you've had.
Yeah, last year's team had them too. I mean, Nick and Al could both shoot as well. So we generally here the last couple of years, we've had 5, 6, 7 guys that we feel good shooting the three, and we really work on it. We really practice it. We come in the mornings 2 days a week, and I mean, we shoot for 30 minutes and just, you know, before school, and it's dark, and we got managers in here, and it's one guy at a basket with 2 managers, and we got this routine that we do for, you know, a lot of the fall, and guys will get 300 shots up, you know, in a 30-minute segment, and then lift weights, you know, before or after. And so, you know, we practice it. It's a valuable tool. We need it, and, you know, today we were able to win without shooting as well.
Ian said he's better from the outside than he is in the paint. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. You know what? He shoots the ball. He regularly is going to make over 60 out of 100. I mean, he's going to make, you know, 60 to 65 out of 100 in the drills that we do. So, you know, obviously there's a reason those guys are allowed to shoot. They have to make a certain amount in practice and in the drills that we have set up. And, you know, I mean, Hunter Tyson made 91 out of 100 in this drill that we do. That's the most we've ever had in this Houston 100 drill that we run, and unfortunately today he was only 1 for 5, so he had to make 90 out of his next, whatever it is, 95 to keep it going, but, so anyway,
Was it his wrist or his hand?
wrist.
Okay.
Ideally, what would you like Brevin's role to look like, sort of?
A little bit of, it's funny, I talked to him just for a second right there, and I told him, I said, I know you didn't feel like you played well. Defensively, he made a couple of errors, right? Like he got caught staring at the ball and his man moved, and he gave up a 3, and he fouled a 3-point shooter. That's 7 quick points. And it's really just kind of like, ball comes at you. We told our guys, ball comes at you, you got to go back to your man. If they're about 5 or 6 of their guys, we said you got to go back to the man because they're shooters. And if you stare and lose discipline just for a second, it's crazy, but Alex, even though the kid made 5 threes, he didn't make very many on Alex. He made a couple of loose, like offensive rebound. He made one in transition. There was one we got a mix up. When Alex was guarding him just in like their stuff, Alex was home with him every possession. That's part of the reason, even though Alex wasn't playing as well offensively, we kept him out of there, because you just trust his defensive discipline. Some of our younger guys aren't ready for that. You just can't. You make a quick mistake, and in this game, it's 2 threes, and that's a lot. And so that's part of why I didn't play the young guys as much. And then Brevin, I thought, gave that up. But the other side of it is, he made 11 points and 4 assists, and it was really like, if you wouldn't have thought he really did that much. But he drove it a couple times. He made a 3. He had a nice back cut late. Passed it to guys for scores. So pretty solid. Just didn't play as well defensively as we need him to play.
Brownell was in foul trouble, had to be on the bench there with 4 fouls with 4 or 5 minutes left.
Right.
I imagine with his experience, you'd like to have him in there.
Yeah, I would like to have had him out there more. But, that's part of, us having to deal with different situations, is playing other guys. And he's got to do a better job, and that's something we talked about, is he can't have a couple of those silly ones.
So how do you incorporate maybe some of the younger guys that you want to get minutes when, at least according to the schedule, looks like you'll be in some pretty competitive games going forward?
Yeah, I think some of the, there's some of the games that stylistically, right, like they played more against Mississippi in a scrimmage. They obviously the blowout win, they played a lot, but they've also got to practice a little better than they practiced this week. But remember, we were trying to guard this stuff this week.
Yeah.
But some of it we didn't know was coming, but they had a little trouble with it, right? And this is different. Even Josh got a little awakening to like, this is different.
Yeah.
And so you got to really be locked in. And again, some of this is the uniqueness of the way Citadel plays.
Anybody on Zoom have anything for Coach?
Matt, I know you said last week that PJ was still trying to get his feet under him. Do you know when he might be able to
I don't know yet. He was better late in the week than he's been by far. He didn't practice on Sunday. His sister got married, so he went to the wedding. He just did a little light workout today. We're off tomorrow, so I don't really have much for you.
Coach, you decided to redshirt Chauncey Gibson.
Yes.
I guess just
Yeah.
you feel pretty good about the
I
guys you
do.
got.
I think he has potential. He's 6'5", he's long, and he's got good legs right now. Like, he's gonna be a big, strong kid. He's got some bounce to him. He just like everybody, he needs a little maturity. He needs some experience. In some ways, in talking to kids and their families, and, it takes some pressure off of you, right? Like, and everybody is, well, how come you're not playing? How come this is happening? How come this? Why, And it's like, hey, if he's redshirting, no, he doesn't have to deal with any of that. Like, he just has to get better. And like, he needs to get stronger. And so now he's gonna lift probably 1 to 2 extra times a week, just like Josh did. And he'll put on 10 more pounds, and he'll look like a different guy next year. But he's got that basketball build you want. 6'5", long arms, got some thickness to his legs. Like, he's gonna be a good long athlete. He just needs more strength, and he needs experience. And he probably needs to grow up a little bit. Just, every guy comes to college and there's a lot going on, and just being mentally focused. And I think this will take some pressure off of him, allow him to focus on a couple things that we want him to get better at, and he'll really do that. I think it'll be helpful.
So Brad, do you like having a game like Carolina this early in the season to sort of to have a better idea of exactly what you think you guys are at?
Yeah, I don't know anymore. I mean, I've done it all different ways, right? Like, it's fine. I think Lamont and I both would prefer this to be later.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of did this because of the Greenville situation where it was the only time we could kind of make it all work and our schedules. I mean, it's really hard to fit schedules with our tournaments, their tournaments, SEC, ACC. So it worked that it's this Friday, but I think we probably both would rather it be later, and that would probably be better.
Any more questions for Coach?
Brad, did you like the looks Alex and Brevin got, even if they weren't knocking down shots?
Yeah,
You feel
I
like
did.
those will start
Yeah,
going down?
yeah. I thought Alex got a lot of really good looks. You know, they both might have shot one a little quick, but, you know, 75% of them are pretty good looks. And, I mean, you know, the hard part is when you're a really good shooter, the other team's trying to guard you, it's not easy to get open looks, right? Like, so you're gonna have to shoot one or two that's a little contested, but I thought by and large, those guys all got pretty good looks and just didn't make them.